Throughout history, there have been numerous military operations so secretive and covert that they have remained hidden from public view. These ghost armies, or secret military units, carried out crucial missions without ever making their presence known. Often involved in deception, sabotage, and psychological warfare, these units changed the course of wars without leaving behind any clear evidence of their existence. But their stories have mostly remained untold, until now. In this video, we will explore some of the most mysterious and secretive military units in history. Units that carried out essential operations, and in some cases, disappeared without a trace. Join us as we uncover the hidden history of these ghost armies. 10. The Ghost Army of World War II, United States. One of the most famous and effective ghost armies was the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, better known as the Ghost Army of World War II. This secret unit was formed in 1944 and tasked with conducting deception operations to confuse the German forces. The Ghost Army was unique because it was made up of artists, sound engineers, and other non-combat personnel who used their creative skills to create illusions on the battlefield. Their tactics included inflatable tanks, fake trucks, and even large-scale sound equipment to simulate troop movements. Their most notable operation was during the Normandy invasion, where they created the illusion of a larger force ready to attack from one location, while the real invasion force landed elsewhere. These deceptions were so successful that they played a crucial role in diverting German forces from the actual landing sites. However, the operations of the Ghost Army remained classified for decades, and it wasn't until the 1990s that the full scope of their missions was made public. 9. The British Special Air Service, SAS, during World War II. The Special Air Service, SS, one of the most elite and secretive military units in the world, was also deeply involved in deception during World War II. While the SAS is renowned for its commando raids and high-risk operations, the unit also engaged in psychological warfare to mislead enemy forces. In North Africa, the SAS used diversionary tactics to confuse and mislead German forces. One example occurred during the Second Battle of El Alamein, where small SAS units made the Germans believe a major attack was underway, causing confusion among their ranks and disrupting their operations. These operations were carried out in total secrecy, and many details of SAS actions remained classified for years. The SAS didn't just fight battles, they created strategic confusion, contributing significantly to the Allied victory. However, because of the nature of their work, many of these missions were never fully disclosed. 8. Delta Force Operation Eagle Claw, 1980. Delta Force is an elite counter-terrorism and special operations unit in the United States military, formed in the 1970s. One of their most mysterious operations occurred in 1980 during Operation Eagle Claw, an attempt to rescue American hostages held in Iran. The mission, aimed at rescuing 52 Americans from the US Embassy in Tehran, ended in disaster when a helicopter crashed, killing 8 soldiers and forcing the remaining personnel to abandon the mission. Although the mission's failure was covered in the media, Delta Force's full involvement and the details of their secretive operations were not made public until much later. For years, the mission's secrecy protected the Delta Force operatives, and many elements of the operation remained classified. The failures and the secrecy surrounding the operation contributed to the unit's aura of mystery, and it remains one of the most classified operations in modern US military history. 7. Soviet Spetsnaz units during the Cold War. The Soviet Spetsnaz, elite special forces units, were shrouded in secrecy during the Cold War. These units were involved in covert operations behind enemy lines, engaging in sabotage, assassinations, and intelligence gathering. The Spetsnaz was notorious for its ruthless tactics and stealth. One of their most secretive operations took place during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in the late 1970s. In one case, a group of Spetsnaz operatives infiltrated the Afghan capital, Kabul, and attempted to assassinate the president, Hafizullah Amin. While the mission was technically successful in removing Amin from power, the operatives themselves disappeared after completing the mission. Many of these covert operations remain classified, and the exact nature of Spetsnaz missions is still unknown to this day, The legacy of these units was hidden by the Soviet government, and details about their operations continue to emerge only in bits and pieces. 6. The Phantom Force of the Vietnam War. During the Vietnam War, several secret units were created to conduct highly classified operations behind enemy lines. One such unit, known as the Phantom Force, was responsible for carrying out sabotage, intelligence gathering, and spreading misinformation in enemy territory. These soldiers operated under total secrecy, and many of them vanished without a trace during their missions. Some were captured by the North Vietnamese forces, while others simply disappeared in the dense jungles of Vietnam, their fates unknown. Despite their vital role in the war, the full extent of the Phantom Force's actions was never revealed at the time. Many of the soldiers who participated in these covert operations remain unknown to this day, and the details of their missions remain locked behind military secrets. 5. The Ghost Paratroopers of the Korean War. The Korean War also saw the use of secret military units that carried out covert operations, especially involving paratroopers. These soldiers would drop into enemy territory at night, conducting sabotage, reconnaissance, and intelligence gathering. Known for their stealth and efficiency, these ghost paratroopers operated in extreme secrecy, often leaving no trace of their activities. Many of these paratroopers disappeared during their missions, with some believed to have been captured or killed by the enemy. While the official military records provide some details, the true scale of their operations remains classified, and the fates of many soldiers are still unknown. These ghost units played a significant role in the success of various military campaigns, but their operations remain one of the most secretive aspects of the war. 4. The German Brandenburgers in World War II. The Brandenburger Division of the German Wehrmacht was one of the most famous and secretive units of WW2. Their mission was to infiltrate behind enemy lines, gather intelligence, and cause disruption by acting as spies or even impersonating the enemy. The Brandenburgers were specially trained to blend into foreign environments, using disguises and false identities. One of their most notable operations took place during the invasion of the Soviet Union, where they infiltrated Soviet positions, gathered intelligence, and carried out sabotage. They were often so effective at causing confusion that the enemy didn't realize they were being misled until it was too late. The Brandenburgers, like many other ghost units, operated under strict secrecy, and many of their missions were never fully documented. Their ability to disappear without leaving a trace only added to their mystique. 3. French resistance fighters in World War II. During World War II, the French resistance played a key role in undermining the German occupation of France. While many members of the resistance are well known, several smaller, secretive units operated independently, using espionage, sabotage, and diversionary tactics to disrupt German operations. Some of these ghost units were so secret that they operated outside the official resistance network, often using coded messages and hidden bases to evade detection. Their actions helped ensure the success of the Allied invasion of Normandy, but many of the operatives involved never received recognition for their efforts, and their identities remained shrouded in secrecy. Many of these ghost units vanished into the shadows after the war, with their operations still largely unknown to the public. 2. Japan's Unit 731 in World War II. One of the most notorious and secretive military units in history was Japan's Unit 731, a biological warfare division of the Imperial Army. Operating in China, the unit conducted horrific human experimentation on prisoners of war and civilians, testing biological and chemical weapons. These experiments were kept highly secret, and many soldiers involved disappeared after the war to avoid prosecution. Unit 731's operations were so classified that even after the war, the full extent of their crimes remained hidden from the public. Some of the soldiers who participated in these experiments were granted immunity by the US in exchange for sharing their knowledge of biological warfare. As a result, many of the individuals involved in Unit 731's atrocities vanished from history. 1. The Cold War spy units. During the Cold War, both the US and the Soviet Union created numerous secret military units, often tasked with espionage and covert operations. These units included sleeper agents, clandestine special forces, and intelligence operatives who worked behind enemy lines to sabotage infrastructure, gather intelligence, and sow confusion among enemy forces. The US Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and Soviet KGB both had ghost units that operated in total secrecy. Some of these units carried out missions so covert that their existence was not even acknowledged until years or decades later. These ghost agents and operatives were the unseen players in the Cold War, and much of their work remains classified to this day. The secrecy surrounding these units makes them among the most mysterious military forces in history, from the Ghost Army of World War II to the secretive operations of the Cold War. Ghost armies played a crucial role in shaping the outcomes of many wars. These units worked behind the scenes, carrying out covert operations and engaging in psychological warfare without ever being seen by the public. Their disappearance only adds to the mystery, and the full extent of their operations may never be fully known. If you found these stories fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights. Let us know in the comments if you've ever heard of other secret military units or ghost armies, and we'll be sure to cover them in future videos.